Catus Maximus here, this time with the Harbor Freight long shaft electric die grinder. This is the older model. The newer ones are red and are a little bit different. These are actually pretty nice die grinders. I actually think these are one of the better Harbor Freight power tools. They have a reasonably well built motor. It does have a metal fan. The one issue I had was they used some really cheesy screws on the housing, and they would get loose real easy and just wouldn't really tighten up properly. So I re-drilled the holes a little bigger all the way through and put in some nice long, larger fasteners, and that's worked out great. Surprisingly enough, this is a 4-bearing die grinder. So there's bearings on each side of the motor and bearings on each side of the shaft with a coupling in between so it doesn't vibrate, and so it's just not, one big continuous piece of metal. It does use a collet system. You'll want to try to keep it cleaned out, but it does work pretty well. And these are surprisingly smooth and powerful with 4.3 amps at 25,000 RPM. Here. It's a little noisy, but for the price, especially with the coupons, it's actually a well worth it little die grinder. A professional brand die grinder would be, electric die grinder would be much better, but they would cost well over $100. So for what this thing costs, which could have been purchased for I think $25 on certain coupons and discounts, is actually pretty darn nice, to tell you the truth. And it's held up for me. And I just try to be careful not to cover the vents. It's really easy to cover the vents. They have a little back one there, but I just try to be aware of it and hold it more like this when I'm grinding. Otherwise, the nice thing about using an electric AC motor die grinder over an air grinder, one disadvantage is they're much larger and a bit heavier, but one advantage is the AC motor has a lot of torque. And at 4.3 amps, this thing actually powers through pretty good. So anyway, that was a quick review of the Harbor Freight long shaft electric die grinder. Feel free to subscribe or give a thumbs up. Catus Maximus out.